Other than Miss Demings, I'm the only person that had a badge and a gun. And I am not for defunding the police, and the Democratic caucus is not for defunding the police. And because a few people in the Democratic caucus might have said something, doesn't mean that 90% of the caucus and the caucus is for we are for supporting the police. We put money in the bills that we passed, the relief bills, the rescue bill, to let local governments fund the police. And my city and my county put $28 million into funding the police. We recognize that need. I've supported the COPS program ever since I've been here, and it was a Democrat who sponsored that and passed the COPS bill. We need more community policing and more officers on the street to interact and to make good contact. This is not about anything anti-police. This is about justice. This is about when there are problems and when there are torts and when there are victims, that their justice is allowed, that the proper parties are allowed to be responsible for it, and that by being responsible, they will teach better and instruct the officers to follow the laws better and will have less problems in the future. This is about compensating the victims and also encouraging programs that will see to it that torts are not committed. So with that, I'd like to ask Ms. Ravindran a question. Despite the burdens and difficulty you describe in litigating claims under the body of law spawned by Monell, in your written testimony you also emphasize the importance of preserving Monell because it is still an invaluable tool under certain factual circumstances. Can you explain further why Congress should allow plaintiffs to make respondeat superior claims in addition to the claims currently permitted under Monell?
Thank you for your question, Chairman. Both Monell and respondeat superior are important for different types of claims. Monell can specifically target claims where a particular officer or governmental employee is not necessarily the reason that there was a violation. It's not an issue with that individual. It is an issue within the entire system. So the best example for that was something that I described in my written testimony, and that is a prison that has a building that creates a condition where it's overly hot, which creates an Eighth Amendment violation for the inmates inside. Now, that's no particular officer's fault. No corrections officer has built the building. They are not in charge of the thermostat. They can't change that condition. In that kind of case, you need to be able to go after the municipality itself so that you can try to make a change there and get some compensation for anyone who may have been injured. In terms of respondeat superior, that is important because in cases where there is a constitutional violation that can be tied to a particular officer or governmental employee's conduct, you should be able to go after that individual directly. But using respondeat superior, you can still make it the municipality's issue to deal with, to fix with training, with policies, with recruitment, and with termination of problematic officers.
Thank you, ma'am. Professor Blum, clear from your testimony you believe the Supreme Court in the Monell decision got it wrong regarding respondeat superior claims. If Congress were to amend the statute to permit those claims, would it be fair to characterize such legislation as correcting the court's error in an area of law that Congress has clear constitutional authority to legislate therein?
Yes, thank you for your question, and the answer is absolutely yes. This was the rejection of vicarious liability in Monell was an interpretation by the court of a statute, and Congress certainly has the power to tell the court, no, that's not what we meant, or to correct the court's error in that sense. So yes, the answer is yes.
Thank you very much. With that, I'd just like to use my last minute to make clear what I'd said earlier. Police are for protecting the public and protecting the public with law enforcement, but proper law enforcement. Nobody's in favor of more George Floyds or more improper police shootings, but we're in favor of better training, better understanding of different demographics in the community, and more involved police patrols with community policing. Police also, when I talked to a policeman when I was home and said, what should we do about guns? And he said, get those AR-15s out. I know those guns. They kill. They would kill us. In Uvalde, one AR-15 held off 19 good guys with guns. We need to protect the police and get rid of AR-15s.